Oh, yes.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With Kabursky Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
We're getting hiccups.
Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands, and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the Metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the Big Red Barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday. Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday, continuing. Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday, continuing next week, June 20th at Westtown Tap in West Des Moines. Dozens of TVs, foosball and darts, and a full menu featuring smash burgers, wings, and local beers on tap. The party starts at 1 next Friday at Westtown Tap in West Des Moines with Murph and Andy and Iowa everywhere.
Attention all campers.
Keith Murphy.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Andy Fales.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Powered by AD.
Just a bit outside.
Murph and Andy. Proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. Murph and Andy. Connected by Cellular Advantage.
And welcome to Murph and Andy here on the 2025 Patio Tour. We are at Founders in the great city of Bondurant. Yes, good crowd here today. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. Andy, did you see the kids lining the streets?
I sure did. That was really nice of them to do that for us.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that since RVTV, but, they did it for us, RVTV, so I understand that, anytime we come to town, they give us that sort of reception.
Yeah.
It was really nice. One of the kids was giving me the honk the horn
Oh, we got
sign.
the same thing. Yeah,
You got to be careful. You got to keep that fist up high.
Or
you bring it down low, it doesn't look right.
That has a different meaning.
Yeah, it just you don't know. But when it's up high like this, that's for a trucker. Did you still have the horns on that cord?
I feel like they do.
Because that was satisfying as a kid.
Oh,
when you would do that to we would do that to every
truck on the interstate.
We'd pass on the interstate, and about every third one would oblige.
Yeah.
Oh man, you were like, oh. Yes.
Got him.
Got another one. Yeah, so the kids were waving, and I waved back.
What do you think
appreciate them doing that
about the turnout of Bondurant is good here? Andrew Downs has sold club seating up front.
Yep.
To watch him work.
That's right.
And so what do those go for up there? What's the trade?
Hit me up. I'll let you know. It's market price.
Market price. Yeah. So those seats
some are occupied by his parents. This is a litmus test for Andrew today. Can he bring it the way he normally does with his mom? 10 feet away.
Who do you think stresses AD out more, his mom or his dad? Most of us have one parent that causes more stress. Who would cause you to be more anxious, your mom or your dad?
In a situation like this, it's easily my mom.
Okay.
Because she's worried about my language and, just kind
grammar.
of that kind of stuff. Yeah, who you're offending.
Yeah.
Which was, as you might imagine, always tough for her with me.
Yes.
My dad would be, he'd be keeping a list of the grammatical errors I made, and then he'd point those out later. But he always kind of liked it when I was a little bit crass. My dad liked that. He had that sense of humor. That's where I got it from.
It's good bet.
He would like that. My dad would, every blue moon, he would tune in to the Murph and Andy show on the radio. and he would like that. He did like to participate in the show. The few times when he was in town, and one time he came in and Mr. Movie was with us, and my dad was so into the category, the out of the box category. He just loved that. I don't think he ever stopped talking about that. But it's your parents would come in and they would listen, and that's a little strange. It's a little weird. We could point it out that way. I mean, it takes you off your game a little bit. It sends you back to childhood, at least part of your brain.
I think my parents were such active, like they listened to every radio show we did until they died. I mean, every day for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't come by between 2 and 4. Like they had it down. They didn't make doctor. So they didn't make me nervous. The one who makes me nervous, and she's here today, is Jenny, because she's in the audience, and she doesn't make me nervous because of lack of support. I'm always on edge that like somebody walks by and they just say, like on a walk by or something, they just say, "Hey, just want to let you guys know you suck."
Is she
and
wearing a disguise or something? I don't see her. Yeah. She left.
Oh my God.
She took somebody outside to kick the shit out of them.
She already heard some.
She already heard
some
being
derogatory
heckled,
comments
like,
about
"What'd you
us,
say?"
and she's like, "All right, Allie, you me now."
And Chris Williams and Matt Van Winkle, also known as Matt Van Woke, they are Bondurant people.
Bondurantians.
They're Bondurant people. But what I feel bad about is Farrar. Like, I feel like this is so one-sided here. You don't ever hear anybody talking about Farrar. Nobody said, "Are you going to Bondurant, Farrar?"
No, they need to be cut loose.
Just
Right.
Bondurant.
Pull your weight, or we're going it alone here. Bondurant, yeah. I mean, I don't even know where it is. I don't know that I've ever been to Farrar. You don't need it anymore. Yeah,
it's small. Yeah, Bondurant Blue Jays is better alliteration if you don't have to slip the Farrar in there. But AD, this leads us to a very important quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Yeah, which duo is most one-sided? Is it Barbie and Ken, Batman and Robin, Bondurant and Farrar, or Hall and Oates?
All right, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Cross out Hall and Oates right now.
Now, here, and they're getting killed in the poll. Have you seen them in concert? Because Daryl Hall stands there and sings songs for 2 hours, and John Oates stands there and strums a guitar.
Yeah, but
he's the most famous rhythm guitarist of all time. He does nothing. I can't believe he gets equal billing in that band.
He's a major part of the songwriting there. I mean, he did. Yeah, he did. He was not the front man. But they got a lawsuit going on right now that'll tell you otherwise.
Oh,
yeah. But no, he had a major hand. We're talking. Look at the people that they're up against, man. I'm not saying he had equal billing, but Robin, what the hell did he do?
Well,
he was just a little kid running around with Batman in just a real weenie costume.
Yeah, the costume was not strong, and a lot of times you could see the whole package.
I mean, how many times did Batman just screw something up and Robin saved the day? Was it like one episode, maybe?
Maybe. Certainly in the movies, Chris O'Donnell played Robin
I think
for a
he was
while.
only in like one of the movies.
He was okay, but Robin was kind of whiny too.
Yeah,
right?
well, because he was a little guy and his hair was always, he was worried about his hair all the time.
And he wore that stupid mask.
Yeah.
So that's one-sided.
Now Barbie and Ken, let's think about that. Ken is introduced to give a little something to the ladies.
But
then they bring him out and he's got a pink shirt on and these really tight pants. He didn't look. I don't think he had the desired effect.
I feel like Ryan Gosling has helped Ken a little, but still, when you undress Ken, you have questions. So Barbie and Ken,
he was a eunuch.
Let's not sleep on Farrar here. I mean,
that's the leader early in the poll.
Is anybody here who can hear me from Farrar?
Oh, good.
Not a
hand. Not a hand.
And all the tables.
Can anybody identify where Farrar is? Okay. Well, all the hands.
Wait. I saw people pointing in several different directions here. You can't just point away from the patio.
Do any of you shop at Farrar or do anything in Farrar?
Is there a bar in Farrar? The Farrar Bar?
Oh, there should be.
That's a good name.
That is.
The Farrar Bar.
Wait. this will decide it. Is there a Casey's in Farrar?
Oh, that's not a town.
If I stop at the Casey's in Bondurant, can they tell me how to get to Farrar? Probably not.
Which Casey's?
There's like 4 Casey's in Bondurant.
Well, but that's the prerequisite for working at Casey's, right? You have to know like how to get to every place.
How to get to the next Casey's.
Because that's the main question that they're asked at Casey's. That and,
how
much is the vape juice?
Yeah.
How much is the vape juice?
Right. Yeah, give me 3 scratch-offs.
What else do you have in the Scarface collection? Is this it? Hall & Oates, I think you're being too forgiving of the one-sided relationship here. I mean, Oates,
he sings sometimes though,
but like one line, like
like one line in
background vocals.
Yeah, he sings. He kind of goes back and forth.
A little bit of background.
Daryl Hall is a big personality and with big hair,
and he looks 6'6" because of Oates.
Yeah,
but he's
Oates is just a little guy, and Oates got the really shitty haircut too, right? I mean, he got like they divided. They're like, all right, who's going up with the '80s? Who's getting the '80s mullet pompadour? The Dalton cut.
Yeah, the Dalton
and
cut
then
from Roadhouse.
Who's getting the white man Rick James?
That's going to be
and that's Oates. I mean, that's the short stick.
That's
right
Oates. There. I'm going Bondurant and Farrar here. I think just because I'm here and I don't know Farrar at all. I at least know who Ken is and Robin and Oates. I don't know Farrar.
You've lived here forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Farrar has meant nothing to you.
I don't know. Not a single person here lives in Farrar. I'm not even sure it's possible to live in Farrar.
Farrar is a suburb of Bondurant. That's all it is.
Wow.
Right?
But
That's
what? There's
insane.
nobody here from Farrar.
And Bondurant's a suburb of Altoona. And Altoona's a suburb. It's like
of Des Moines.
a third
it
suburb.
Is. Yeah.
Huh,
Or is Bondurant a suburb of Altoona or of Ankeny?
Ooh.
Altoona?
A little of both.
Would you rather be associated with Altoona or Ankeny?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a question for another day.
I think Ankeny.
Ankeny's got more going on.
Yeah.
But Altoona's more of a...
You think casino, Adventureland.
You think the interstate.
Yeah.
Bass Pro Shop.
Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more today, including who's the superstar, what's bugging you, and who's the a-hole. From Guest House Tavern, Northwoods inspired Midwestern hospitality. Also, pair of tickets to F1 the movie in IMAX. We'll give it out today. Iowa movie premiere is at the Palms Theater in Waukee, Wednesday, June 25th, 7 p.m. Whatever platform you're watching on, just use the hashtag F1Palms, and you're entered.
Yep.
And AD, you use that generator that takes responsibility out of your hands.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to pick the winner. It does it for me.
Pair of tickets to the premiere. Please only enter if you think you can go on a Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
Because that's been a little bit like invitations to a wedding that maybe you wanted to save some money on. And you send out all these invites and you think, okay, well, a bunch of these people will say no, they can't make it, right? Yeah. And then everybody says yes.
Yeah, free party.
And you're like, oh, shit, this thing's going to be a lot more expensive than we thought. We only have so many tickets to this event, right? I mean, and we've invited like all of our friends, and they've all said yes.
Yeah, because this movie has great buzz.
It does, and just the idea, just the thought, even if you haven't heard of it, you're like, man, there's a camera inside an F1 car, Formula One car, and it's on the IMAX. So, like, I'm down for that. I want to see that. I don't care what the movie's about. Almost everybody that we've invited said, yeah, I want it. And we thought, 50% would be like, no, I got, because it's June. People have plans. No, I can't. No, everybody said yes. So, if you are attending this, and you win one of these tickets, feel like you are somebody special.
And Russell, the Grand
Russell
Poobah
Van Orsdale
of Fridley Theaters, he saw this again. And he saw it with a small group, and he said, the men loved it, was not a surprise or anything. Russell said the thing he was pleased about, and surprised, and could see that this is going to go big is that the women loved the movie. I was like, well, Brad Pitt's in it.
Yeah,
he's like, no, it wasn't just that.
Point that
Brad
out.
Pitt in a racing suit.
Yeah. Don't sound too surprised there.
I mean, Brad Pitt's been in some bad movies, but this one is good. All right, high or low since the last show?
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
This country here. He's out of Ankeny, but you'll find him online at wealthcharterretirement.com, and they can get you set up for the future. Really remove a lot of headaches from your life, both present and future. I'm going to go high here. Kahal and I have a date night tonight. And this is one of the simple pleasures in life. Married
Can
life.
you go high for something that hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, because I'm already excited about it.
Okay.
I'm already looking forward to it.
That's fair.
Dating your wife is like as elementary as that sounds. It's not. I don't think you should assume that everybody gets that. There are a few things in my whole life that I look forward to more than a date night with her.
Wow, that's great.
Really, yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's positive.
and we're gonna go try a new restaurant tonight. I won't tell you what it is, just in case it sucks. But we're gonna get kind of dressed. No kids. Yeah, no.
That is date night.
Now the problem is that I want to take the G.
And she's got hair.
She's got hair. She's got a lot. She doesn't like that. She gives me that side eye as we're driving. I don't even take it on the highway. Because
her hair is back.
Yeah, she don't like. There's no doors, no top. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. So anyway, we will be in the Ramsey Subaru doing that, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah, date night tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
One of the hardest times I've ever laughed is when Ed Wilson was describing bringing his wife Angela on the boat, and when they turned the other direction and all the hair went the other way. And he said, we just had to slow down.
He'll tell you straight out. He'd be like, Angela is not down for a convertible ever. Hates them.
Yeah,
won't
I think
go.
I get why.
I do. Yeah.
Speaking of Ed, that's part of my high. Just one of these unexpected things. We get off the newscast last night, and the Stanley Cup Final goes to overtime again. This makes 3 out of 4 games go to overtime. This series has been incredible. And Ed's
only been
over
one
there.
Bad game.
Yeah, and 3 of the 4 to overtime. Two were sent to overtime with a goal made in the final 20 seconds of regulation. That happened again last night. Ed was standing there. We're watching the OT, and the Oilers win to make it all even at 2, which is exactly what you want. This is great, unless you have a rooting interest and you just want your team to win. So last night, the Panthers were up 3-0 at home in the first period. And Andy, you probably know this. I didn't. The record of the team in the Stanley Cup Final down 3 goals was 1-158. The most recent time a team had come back from down 3 goals in the final was 1919. And the Oilers did it last night. Here's the winner in OT.
Pulls it. Cross-ice pass. Draisaitl towards the net. Score! Leon Draisaitl in overtime. The Edmonton Oilers tie the series 2 games apiece.
They went bonkers in Edmonton when Draisaitl put that in, which he's done several times.
Yeah, he's a video game looking player, hitting one-timers and stuff. This has been with the exception of the one 6 to 1 blowout. Yeah, it's been everything you wanted. I mean, the Panthers are legit great. They are a great team. Edmonton is what Edmonton has shown that they can do is make adjustments within a playoff series where it looked like the momentum was really swinging against them. They were able to. Their coach has been good at making a few changes and then somehow stopping the momentum and sending it back the other direction. So right now, this is playing out kind of exactly like everybody thought it would play out, with the exception of the one blowout game. It's just very, very close, kind of a toss-up, multiple points in each of these games where it absolutely looked like it was going the other way. It looked like Florida was going to win this game. Previously, it looked like Edmonton was going to win that game. They didn't. So, I mean, that's what the Stanley Cup Final is always billed as, like one goal could completely change everything, and that goal could happen at any time from either team. So, I mean, the NHL is making itself look pretty good with this series.
This was great because if the Panthers win this game, the series feels over, even though it's not technically over. How glad are you to have this umbrella here at Founders in Bondurant?
I was saying before the show started, when it was like the sun was obscured by clouds.
Wasn't too bad. Now it's cooking.
I was saying that I kind of appreciate the clouds on a day like today, where you get the warmth, but you don't get the cooking of the sun. And now the sun's out. So yeah, but it's still a really nice day, isn't it? We're not complaining about this.
AD, just noticing the AKC marketing product placement up here. What's going on with your side hustle?
Oh, we're selling merch, baby.
Okay.
IowaEverywhere.com is the merch store. You can come out here and, we have limited pieces on site, but everything's available online.
What if somebody came up and said, look, what does it take to get that hat off your head? I mean, what would you charge? Would you go lower or higher? Yeah, like I had to get, what's it take to get that hat?
After the show, you can have it at a cost.
Okay.
I'm not taking it off right
you
now.
You don't give up a hat, though, that fits perfectly.
That's the thing. This is,
and
I've worked it in a little bit.
There's absolutely no Jiffy Pop popcorn effect to that, where like that, the hat like bows out from the headband.
Yes.
On the way up. Yeah, that thing is perfect.
It's very annoying.
Remember Peyton, Kevin Kline, and Silverado? I mean, he was so upset that he was most upset that his hat had been stolen because he said it took me about 20 years to break that hat in just right.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a great
just
hat.
Right.
And I used to wear hats. I've got a Cardinals hat somewhere that I got in high school that I still have, and it's been
sweat stains.
Yeah, and at one point, our friend Todd Rowland pulled me aside and he was like, "Did you wipe your ass with that hat?" And I was like,
"I don't think so.
I think maybe I better stop wearing this."
Yeah,
it was so filthy dirty, but that was like a point of pride, and then I was like, I was kind of self-conscious. But then I washed it and things started falling apart.
Yeah,
like,
then it's all over.
I had to retire it.
Andy, something satisfying for me is the amount of people who have reached out. I think they're all non-racing fans that have watched the Earnhardt documentary after the strong recommendation that you don't have to be a racing fan, because this is ultimately a character study about fathers and sons and the longing sons have to be to have their fathers proud of them. I mean, at the heart of it, or daughters in the case of Kelly. That's at the heart of the whole thing, is just wanting the approval of your dad. It's 4 episodes, everything else around it, but it's so good.
It is. I finished it last night. It's excellent, and it's lightheanded. As you said, I thought you gave a good analysis of the whole thing. It is not. There's not a message there that the producers, the director is trying to get across about Dale Earnhardt. It is just a story of kind of his career, what made him who he was. It doesn't sugarcoat anything. There isn't really anything bad about Dale Earnhardt that comes out or needs to come out in this kind of documentary. I mean, it's warts and all, but the warts that he has they're nothing compared to anybody else.
He's an absent father at times. Kelly, who comes off looking so good, especially in the way that she protects her younger brother, Dale Jr., in so many different ways. And she ends up being like a business mogul. But she
has a lot of regrets. They didn't have a good relationship. But she doesn't sugarcoat it either. She says it.
She does.
She hadn't talked to him in 3 weeks
when he died. Yeah. She says the big thing, though, was his love was always conditional. It was not unconditional love. Like Dale Jr., you can tell they finally really bond when he starts winning races.
It's the timing of this is really good with Father's Day, and many of us kind of maybe taking a moment to sort of analyze our own relationships with our own dads. But there is always those questions that are going on in your mind as a father, like, am I being too soft? Am I being too tough? Am I in
do that,
or not want to do it, or just holding them back? I mean, you as a father, you work hard to get things for your kids, and then if all of a sudden you get to a point where, as you see in this documentary, where Dale Jr. and Kelly and Carrie, all three of them want to be racers, and Dale Sr., who grew up with a racer for a father, he just basically says, no, I'm not giving you anything. I'm not giving you a car. You're not going to be a part of this team. You're going to have to go out there and earn it. You're going to have to go buy a junky car and learn how to race it and get, pay your own bills.
That.
Well, you do, but at the same time, you're like, what? You work very hard for all of these things for his family. He's not just doing it himself. Or to give them a leg up, to give them a better opportunity that maybe he didn't have or wished he had. So at what point do you kind of loosen your grip and say, okay, yeah, you can have some of this stuff that I've worked hard for, and maybe it will help you. And then at one point in the documentary, you see that he does do that.
His friend tells him he needs to.
And at that point, it seems like that's the right decision, and that maybe his kids have had enough of the tough love where they learned a lesson, and it wasn't just handed to them. But at the same time, they didn't really, make it to the end of that lesson.
Right.
Where they truly earned it. I mean, I'm going to give you all your own car, and you're going to have, it was just a very real presentation of what it's like to be a father, where you're just, even if you think your own father did everything right, he didn't. He did. Your father wouldn't tell you that he did. He struggled with those decisions, was probably till his deathbed, was probably not sure if he made those decisions the right way, if he did everything right. And that is what I really liked about this series, is that it's really human. I thought Dale Jr. came across so well.
I already liked him. I like him even more.
Like him so much. Yeah, he's so honest in this documentary. And he's not trying to be tough. He's not worried about how he looks. He's just telling you, look, man, I want to be a part of this so much that in my spare time I'm drawing. And then his dad comes home and says, oh, I see you're really into drawing. I'm going to send you to art school. And he's like, I don't want to go to art school. I want to be a driver. And that's why I'm doing this. But his dad can't see that.
Yep.
And I just think that that's, in the movies, there would be some bullshit moment where, the dad's like, oh, and you just see him like get the lightning bolt. And he's like, he's trying to communicate to me in his own way that he wants to be part of my world. And then,
not in this.
And no, it isn't. He literally tells him that that's what he wants to do, and then that still doesn't reach Dale Sr. Did you forget how good he was?
I forgot how good he was, and also I learned even more what a badass he was. I mean, like the time he's in the ambulance, he's like, hey, can you crank that? And I say, I think we're, and he gets out of the ambulance, gets back in his car that's just a piece of crap.
Yeah.
So he can finish. He limps out of a couple of wrecks. I mean, he was tough.
Forgotten all about Neil Bonnet dying on the racetrack also, and how that was his best friend, and maybe his only real good friend. I thought the wall trips looked really good. I thought Jeff Gordon added a lot to it, but you forget that, I mean, Dale Earnhardt was not just this, like, the intimidator, this guy with a kit that appealed to people because of his attitude or his black car or whatever.
Darrell Waltrip was always kind of questioning how great he was.
There was a little wink in his eye when he was saying that those guys are so competitive with each other. But, I mean, there is a lot of love in this, but at the same time, it's not. It is something that I feel like you're getting the real thing when you watch it.
AD, why are people telling us to get Starlink? Don't we have Starlink?
That's what we're connected to right now, yeah, so.
Come on, Elon. Isn't that Elon?
Yeah.
Come on, Elon. Yeah, we're on Starlink. Hey, Williams, is this a Bondurant thing? All the comments, people are telling us to get Starlink. Aren't we on Starlink? Will you call Elon, tell him to, get out of the feud? And
yeah, he's got more time now.
All right, let's get the buzz.
The buzz.
Well, not according to dude from Iowa.
Cooling.
Or Gus, or Matt.
Was that, what's going on?
Or Mike.
All right, Logier, 119 years they've been in business. All right, the buzz. Well, we'll get to kind of the news item of the day. It's not a big one, but let's get to this topic here right now. Magic Johnson, who really almost always says nothing interesting. Like his posts on benign, but he says, Magic does, that a superstar is someone who can sell out the building or stadium on the road. That's a superstar, because it's been a question a lot. Who's a star? Who's a superstar? So I think that's a pretty good definition.
Yeah, and we have these gigantic, overused blanket terms that we throw around all the time, and we don't really have our own definition. I always think it's interesting when somebody comes up with one that's worth considering. And what is a sport? What's an athlete? What's how does a champion behave? That kind of stuff. I like this. I think that's good. Yeah, somebody that is kind of bigger than the game.
Yeah, because if you sell out...
Bigger than the competition, certainly, but somebody that... Do you recognize them when... if they walk down your street, would people recognize them?
When they come into town, casual fans, like, I got to get a ticket to see him or her. So by this definition here, Caitlin Clark, superstar. Absolutely. She sells out everywhere. I mean, there's no question.
No doubt.
Question.
And I think she's to the point also where you could just use her first name, which is
probably
another qualification of a superstar.
Asia Wilson, MVP, not a superstar. She's not selling out road arenas to see her.
If you say Asia,
I think Steely Dan.
What? AJA. Yeah. Steely Dan.
She's named after the album.
Is she really?
She is.
Okay, that makes me like her a little bit more. Or I think Heat of the Moment.
It was the heat.
Yeah, which is spelled differently, or you think the continent, right?
Yeah, different spelling. Isn't her spelled?
Yeah, but it's
hers is spelled like
AJA. Yeah, it's spelled like the album is. But I'm just talking about somebody saying the word.
Yeah.
If somebody says Caitlyn.
Yes, that is. Even though they'll probably
there's a Caitlyn Jenner now.
Yeah.
You would probably. I just think a lot of people think Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, Asia Wilson, I would say not a superstar, but certainly a great player, an MVP. Steph Curry, superstar. I mean, people go to see, they want to see him play.
I think even if you say Steph in a sports crowd, I think they know what you're talking about.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the NBA, SGA, great player. He is not a superstar.
I think if you say SGA, it sounds like some sort of business.
Okay. Shohei Ohtani, superstar.
Absolutely.
Bobby Witt Jr., no.
No, not at all. Wow, what about Mike Trout?
That's a tough one because
that guy has been on that line and been on the non-superstar side of the line,
despite being one of the great players in the history of the game. But sometimes you can't put a finger on it. Patrick Mahomes, yes. Brock Purdy, no. I mean, Brock Purdy is not selling out.
We don't have
the NFL doesn't need a player to sell.
We don't have a good view of him being here in Iowa. We think we think he is. I don't think elsewhere they do.
AD, who else? You got anybody else comes to mind? Let's put him to the superstar.
How about Giannis?
Yes, I think he's absolutely a superstar.
I would say yes.
First of all, a distinctive name.
Yeah.
Great
player. Great personality.
If he walks down the street, I think everybody knows he's a big deal. I don't know that they immediately know his name.
Right.
But if he says it, they probably do.
I don't know. Do you think that when he comes to town, like say you're in another city, you're in Atlanta, and they're going to play the Hawks, is he a guy that puts a few thousand more people in the seats to see Giannis?
I think he puts a few thousand more in. I don't think he guarantees a sellout.
Yeah. I would tend to think yes on him.
How about Anthony Edwards?
Ooh.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry was in this. He was in this
position
when the Warriors came to Des Moines.
Yes.
Good point.
And the big draw was
Harrison
Barnes. It was not Steph Curry. It was Harrison Barnes at that point. Now it's not close. Right.
Yeah.
But he was on the way.
Kevin Durant. I would say he was.
I'd say yes.
Can you lose superstar status?
Yeah.
Because he certainly was. I don't know that people go to see KD anymore.
Yeah, you can absolutely lose superstar status. I mean, you look back over. You can give me a few minutes, but I mean, you could look back over.
Somebody just stayed too long.
Sports, or just guys that had kind of their superstar time.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5 years, and then they just kind of faded away.
How about in baseball, Aaron Judge?
Yes.
No doubt. Biggest star in baseball.
Yeah, I think he's the guy. You think he's a bigger star than Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, I do.
I think Ohtani's international appeal puts him over the top.
Outside the country, maybe, but not here.
That's probably it in baseball, though, those two.
Yeah, probably.
In the NFL, Justin Jefferson.
No.
I mean, he's great, and certainly Vikings fans would say yes.
Right.
But I don't think you buy a ticket to see Justin Jefferson.
I can't even picture what his face looks like.
On the road. I'm talking about on the road, which is Magic's definition.
How about a guy like Joe Burrow, who hasn't really won anything, has been pretty famous?
I think he might be there. I
don't think so.
I could buy a ticket to see Joe Burrow. No?
Would I buy a
great
ticket
LSU team?
No, I don't.
Jalen Hurts?
No.
Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting where that line is there.
I know. It's certainly not scientific.
Another piece of the definition. Can you immediately think of something that this athlete does?
A signature.
A signature. Maybe something that nobody else can do or does do. But like when you think of one of these superstars, can you immediately picture them in action?
For Jalen Hurts, it's the brotherly shove.
Yeah.
That's what you think of, but that's not really.
I don't think of that
something that makes you a superstar.
I mean, you can you picture Barry Sanders, if I say that?
Yes.
Can you picture Bo Jackson?
Yes.
Can you picture O.J. Simpson?
Yes.
Can you?
For a couple reasons.
Yeah. Can you? I mean, you can picture Brett Favre. You can picture Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you can't certainly picture Tom Brady. Justin Jefferson, can you picture him doing something? I mean, he's a great receiver. I can't picture him doing something that other receivers do. Can you picture Randy Moss?
Yes.
He's a superstar.
See, that's where somebody in our comments said, who in the NFL as a wide receiver would be a superstar then? I would say nobody probably right now.
Right now? Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think so. I don't think I can think of one.
Yeah, that's tough. I think George Kittle is a superstar. I mean, I think people show up to see him.
Ooh.
Outside of San Francisco, though. I mean, he's a big star in the NFL.
It's just his personality, his pro wrestling appearance, the commercials.
Yeah. The problem is that there are a number of tight ends that have that larger than life persona.
You might not buy a ticket to see a tight end, but like the autograph line, if he's in
Kelsey.
Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey and Gronk and Kittle. I mean, that's they're cut out of the same cloth, which is a good cloth. But I don't know that Kittle is at that point. If he had won a Super Bowl and done something crazy, I think so.
Interact on YouTube, on X, it's Murph_Andy. The email is Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. Have you checked the email lately, Andy?
I've not. I see my mom has a comment here. She says that she wants us to know that she's going into town.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the update.
She's going to Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, right now. She just wants to...
She wants everybody to know.
Yeah, she could send that to me as a text message and just kind of let me know in case I'm trying to get a hold of her during the show.
This is a little bit of oversharing here. It's like, okay.
My mom is guilty of that from time to time.
It's all powered by Cellular Advantage, 35 regional locations, proud partner with U.S. Cellular since 1993. The WNBA got good news today. Caitlin Clark will return for tomorrow's game. The Fever said Clark is ready to roll. So she's back for a game against the Liberty. The Liberty are 9-0. They have beaten the Fever. That was a close game. Came down to the final seconds. But they're 9-0. WNBA ratings since Clark went down with an injury nearly 3 weeks ago are down 55%. That sounds made up. That's not Fever ratings. That's league-wide. 55%.
Honestly, I'd have believed you if you had said 75%.
The Fever games are actually down less. They're down 53%. So even the Fever have lost more than half their audience without Caitlin in the lineup. I think she's moved into this territory where nobody has moved the general audience more than her. Like even Tiger, now those were much bigger audiences, so this is a scale. But even Tiger couldn't, like if he didn't play in a tournament, it didn't drop 55%. I mean, that's a huge number.
I can't think of anybody else that
it's unlike anything we've seen.
It's a different era.
Yeah, it's a smaller group. It is per capita.
I don't know who else I would throw out there if we wanted to do a side-by-side.
Pacers are 8-0 with Caitlin Clark in attendance in the playoffs. NBA Game 4 is tonight. Pacers lead 2-1. Oklahoma City is favored again tonight in Indianapolis. Kind of a must-win, not truly, but you can't go down 3-1. That rarely works out. It's worked out occasionally. But Game 3 kind of changed this series. If the Thunder win that and go up 2-1, you just feel like, all right, it's inevitable. But now you have the heavy favorite down 2-1 and on the road. This is much more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is an example of the pendulum swinging wildly back and forth, right?
I
mean, the fact that the Pacers won this game, it did so pretty convincingly.
Yeah, this wasn't like Game 1 where it's like, how did they do that?
The fact that they won this game, now everybody's just like, oh, yeah, this is anybody's series, where before the game started, they're like, yeah, this is over. And people were saying that over there. They're way more talented. They win this game tonight. They're going to win this game tonight. And then the whole thing's going to be over, because it seems like it just takes a good effort from the Thunder to win a game in this series. It seems like it takes an inspired effort by the Pacers to win a game. Like they have to reach down to find some extra gear. Like they're not, play like they're not actually capable of playing day in and day out. Where the Thunder just have to kind of do what they do because they're more talented. But here we go again. Back to the discuss. I mean, if he had gotten one more rebound, Haliburton would have had a triple-double, and everybody would have been talking about him.
We said he needed to be more assertive, and we weren't the only ones to say that.
He wasn't the leading scorer, but he did everything in that game.
He was great.
He was, and here's another thing that you can kind of tell. You just look online at the pictures. The pictures right now of the Indiana Pacers. The pictures, photos of the last of Game 3, photos of the Pacers. Who do you see?
You see Tyrese.
Almost exclusively.
He's the breakout star of these playoffs. And Haliburton did hear the critics, including the ESPN talking heads, and Tyrese just isn't having it.
The commentary is always going to be what it is. Most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms.
One second.
Yeah, the commentary is always going to be what it is. Most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms. The commentary is always going to be. The commentary is always going to be what it is. Most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms, I couldn't care less, honestly. Like, what do they really know about basketball? But I think as a group,
and oh, by the way, just in case he was talking about me, my brother, I'm not.
Doesn't just have a small market problem in these finals. The NBA has an ESPN problem. Their pregame and postgame shows are so inferior to TNT and Inside the NBA, a show that, by the way, is going to ESPN next year, so that will change. But, you miss Kevin Harlan, you miss Charles, you miss Shaq. Just overall, the problem there is, I'm sure that does contribute to it, because I never watch the ESPN pregame or postgame or halftime. If I'm in front of a TV, I never miss Inside the NBA. I will not miss it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the definition of a good show. Is it can anybody else copy it? Can anybody else even come close?
Or just buy it if that's what you have to do. That's what ESPN. They've tried like 9 different shows and 43 different hosts.
Yeah.
None have worked.
Good,
so they're like, all right, well,
can't beat them. Join them.
or
join
us.
Buy them and have them join you. I mean, it's a great show. There are probably some irreplaceable elements in that show, and you can't take Charles Barkley and replace him with somebody else and expect it to be different. And then kind of just the way that he interacts with the other hosts. I mean, you can't replace that with anybody else or any other combination.
By the way, good line here from Tim Whiteman. He writes, "Looks like you guys are too far away from your signal." That's a good line, Tim.
Yeah,
well done.
We're kind of playing to the audience here on the patio today.
The U.S. Open continues at Oakmont. Really challenging course. The U.S. Open sets it up this way to really challenge the best golfers in the world, and they are on the struggle bus. It was rough. This could be a par or even over par winner by the time this concludes on Father's Day. Father's Day is one of those traditions, like our friend Chris Hassel. This is one of his favorite weekends of the year to watch the final round when he can with his dad. My dad never watched golf. A little bit the Tiger Woods era, but otherwise he just wasn't. He never watched golf.
My dad didn't either. But I mean, we had our own little sports traditions that we would watch together. That had a lot of them. And if this is, I can picture the Hassels just sitting on the couch all weekend long and watching the U.S. Open.
Are they talking to each other or just watching?
Oh, yeah, they're talking, but filling each other full of bullshit, really. And then Don at some point goes over and browns 2 pounds of ground beef and then puts it on a paper plate for Chris to eat in front of the television with a fork.
Just the ground beef, that's it? And a fork?
Maybe some salt. That was it. Okay. Yeah, that was it. And they called it crumbled up beef. But Chris thought it was crumpled. Crumpled up beef.
All right. Grimaldi's fan photo winner is Kevin Gartman. Here's Kevin's son Coy and friend Colson checking out the games at the Montezuma Little League, where they love to hang out and watch the older kids play. Yeah. That was always so cool when you're a little kid. They've been looking for a reason to head to Ankeny and check out Grimaldi's Coal Brick Oven Pizzeria, and now they have a reason to go. So congratulations, Kevin. Thank you. You can send your photos to Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. By the way, a quick plug. You probably haven't seen it yet, Andy, but John Sears did a Father's Day story last night. Fantastic. 5 minutes long, WHO13.com. You can find it. It's so good.
I know it played a big part in our newscast.
Yeah. Food.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's going to be, now this is almost cruel. Just like this food.
Here you go. You cannot eat it right now. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so
Andy,
much.
do you want to take shifts? Like I'll talk for a while.
I got the taco salad. Yeah.
Oh, taco salad.
Thank you.
That's our social safe word.
We salute you, Mr. Taco Salad Man.
Taco Salad with the crazy blonde wife. She's not here, is she?
No, not my.
Is she's not back yet? Okay, good. All right, that's good.
So
John's story is fantastic. Now, here's a few seconds from each of the most iconic songs of the 1970s by year, starting with 1970. Maybe. Oh, man, I went for it, and that was a mistake.
I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Come the water, a fire in the sky. Sing when I was just gone today, never tomorrow, the good Lord will take you away. Sweet home Alabama. Just killed a man. You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only said.
at Founders where the food looks delicious.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw downs.
Throw downs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that again. Andy, my dad and his brothers went to the Yankees and Royals in Kansas City this week. They saw Aaron Judge hit a 470-foot home run in a blowout win. If you're in attendance at a game, would you rather see a great game or a cool moment?
Ooh, I mean, it's going to depend a little bit. It's going to depend a lot on who wins that game. Do I care about them? And then in the cool moment, who does that benefit, right? I don't think your dad cares about the Yankees or the Royals, right?
Nope.
So, yeah, the cool moment definitely in that sort of situation. If it's my team, if it's Cardinals playing, I don't care who does what. I mean, I want them to be either winning the game or having the moment. That doesn't really answer your question.
Yeah, and unless someone is there specifically to see a certain player, like this is a big Aaron Judge fan, and they're just for Aaron Judge, and you hit that. That's it. But otherwise, great game trumps the cool moment to me.
All right, Murph, about 130 miles west of here, the College World Series is underway in Omaha. From 1 to 10, rank your general interest, not just this year, but general interest in the College World Series.
If I'm there, 8. If I'm here, 2. I mean, it's great to be at the College World Series in Omaha, but I'm not going to be watching it on TV. I don't know the teams. They're not my teams. They're not from here. Not seeking it out. On site, fantastic event.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
watching.
For the event itself, and maybe you don't even care about the teams. Outside of the event, I'm a 0. If it doesn't happen,
rank it 1 to 10. I'm going with 0. Is there a negative number possible?
Yeah, 1 if I have to pick an actual digit. But yeah. I mean, I don't care who's going to win. I'll never remember. Don't care at all.
All right, Andy, we're here at Founders Irish Pub in Bondurant. Let's play a little word association. When you hear the word Bondurant, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Probably Williams. Honestly, he's the one that is such the. I think he thought that he was going to move here, and then everybody else was going to move here too, right? He thought he was going to start a movement. That diagonal highway, also, it's so strange. I don't understand how that happened. Nothing else in Iowa, it seems like, is diagonal.
I was considering moving to Bondurant in part because Williams was bragging about how strong the internet is. So now I'm rethinking that, and we probably will stay in Beaverdale at this point. But the first thing that comes to my mind is the Bald Jays story I did a long time ago with your friend, our friend, Big Steve Young. He was on that team. They all shaved their heads, and they were really good basketball team. And every time I would see Big Steve, and he was always wearing Bondurant for our Blue Jays gear, always. I don't know that he wore anything else when we saw him. That is what comes to my mind. He comes to my mind.
Yeah, he was a supporter of this town long before Williams.
Yeah, back when Farrar had a chance.
It was kind of joining up. There was something for both sides.
Yeah. All right.
That's Throwdowns.
Thank you. Thank you, AD. Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence is where good things come together. Also should mention that Throwdowns was presented by Heartland Tire and Auto. All right. Ready or not?
I don't know if we're ready.
What are you doing? Scott School.
Scott School.
Yeah, get into the shot. Sorry about that. Scott School.
Scott School is cool.
No, it didn't.
Scott School is cool. Yeah. Everybody, welcome to Scott School.
I don't feel like we're hearing you.
Oh, man.
There he is. All
Hi,
right.
everybody. Welcome to Scott School. Have you ever thought about being flayed alive?
No.
Yeah, it'd be a terrible way to go.
Not since Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought about it a lot during Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it turns out that if somehow you don't die from the flaying of being alive, from blood loss, or from just the shock of the pain, you will then die of hypothermia. And that's Scott School!
Yeah,
The
well,
Odd
we
Job
got a little bit of it
Marketplace.
there. Yeah,
We have a stupid quickie poll. It is presented by WCI Pools and Spas. As a kid with no supervision, What's the best playground equipment?
Yeah.
Of these choices, is it the jungle gym, the merry-go-round, the swing, or the metal slide? I mean, these are all now viewed as death traps.
I know, and the important thing is no parental supervision. That's the important part here.
We grew up on these.
Yes, that's right.
Let me point this out, as I can see the vote is already going against this, but I don't think people are considering this. Think about Union Park. What's the first thing that you think about at Union Park in Des Moines?
Rocket slide.
Rocket slide. The slide. We had a park not too far from where I grew up where we just called it Rocket Park because of the slide. And we would bring wax paper with us. You bring the wax paper for extra speed. Slick down you put that all over that hot slide.
Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation.
I mean, it made it so much more dangerous.
Oh, so dangerous.
You were like, it was like you were like a gunshot right off the end of that thing. But I mean, it was the slide that made it. You know, that if you, and I'm not just talking about one of those stupid little slides, which no big deal. I can understand people not picking that. But if it's a rocket slide, that's the whole part.
The metal slide I'm picturing is like, it looks like the worst idea in the world that you would even attempt to go down it.
Cooking in the sun.
That's the big thing, though. You're climbing up onto a metal slide when it's 98 degrees, and you're burning your skin as you go down.
When I was 4 or 5, I fell off the top of one of those.
That explains it.
Parents took me to the emergency room and everything. It was like I barely remember it, but it was like a huge,
because of the concussion,
huge deal. Well, because I was like 5. Yeah, but I mean, I fell off the top. How do you even do that? What if you're a kid and you're climbing up the slide? You're climbing it to go down the slide,
Did
not
someone
to
push
jump
you?
off the side. I don't think so.
Jamie
I think
Lannister there?
I was just up. I was just up at the top, and I went the wrong direction.
You just made my point about Disney World, though. Tip for all the parents out there: don't take your kids to Disney when they're in a stroller or they're under the age of like 7. They won't remember it. You'll spend a small fortune. You'll be making payments for years, and they won't remember it. Andy fell off a metal slide at age 5 and doesn't remember it.
Like the people you'll see, like the people at the Cancun airport that have like a 3-year-old. Like, what'd you bring him for? I think all that's doing is keeping you from having a good vacation.
Jeez,
right? The kid is not going to remember anything. There's no way that kid is making your vacation better.
No,
and that kid is going to remember anything from the trip.
All right, AD, we have butts bugging you. No, we're not going to try it.
I think we should skip that.
Okay. Oh man. Again, now
I got a bunch of stuff and more that I can just talk about, so I think we're good.
Yeah. I think let's go to more presented by Either Or. That rhymes.
Yeah, Either Or Eatery and Patio. They find them at 6222 Grand Avenue. I'm sure they're set for another really great weekend. What was it? Just last week we were there.
We were.
Yeah,
was that a week ago?
Last night.
Just last night. Well, it's right across the street from your house. Yeah, it was a good place to be. This took me by surprise. I didn't realize that this was about to happen. The state of Iowa is going to demolish the Wallace building.
Remind me which building
that is. The one with with the mirrored
north side of the Capitol.
North side of the the west side of the Capitol. So, and it reflects the sun onto the Capitol. You'll see all the pictures. If we had an internet connection, you could look up the pictures. But it's on Grand Ave. It's right on Grand Avenue. If you're going from the Capitol toward the East Village, Murph.
Okay.
So left.
Thank you.
You'll see the mirrored front. The Department of Agriculture was located there. The DNR was in there. It's a beautiful building. It's like the only interesting government building other than the Capitol in Des Moines.
And it's coming down.
Apparently, and it's weird because I can't stop shrinking its state government, but I thought maybe that was the deal. But apparently when it opened in 1978, they knew that there were problems immediately. There was mold.
It's an odd design that has created some functional issues.
I mean, cool looking, but apparently it was just a lemon.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they're tearing the whole thing down. The property, the state is going to hang on to the property. The property is worth more with the building gone than with the building on it.
That's crazy.
That tells you something. It's like $5.7 without the building and 5.3 with the building. Oh man, the building just sucks.
Yeah, people are like,
it's like going house shopping and being like, how much is this grass worth without the house sitting on it? And then the people will be like, you mean I cleaned like a madman inside just for you to ask me that question? Anyway, the Wallace building is going. It's going to meet the wrecking ball.
Interesting little tidbit here of trivia for Iowa and maybe some Hawkeye fans out there. The reason the state of Iowa owns all that property around the state house, originally it didn't, but a governor by the name of George Clark, who was Niall Kinnock's grandfather, got the state government to buy up all that property when he was governor, and then they were able to turn that into the wonderful plazas that we have there and other places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
pretty
where
cool.
all the government is located. Yeah,
Scott, that was an actual contribution.
Thank you so much. He was, strong governor.
Ah, that's good.
Governor Clark.
Thank you for that.
With an E. by the way, at the
Vinyl
end.
Cup Records is open in its new location in Beaverdale. We talked about this. We broke this story here on More when it first came out. It was located on the second floor of that building that has the sushi place.
Yeah. It was hard to find.
Yeah, it was hard to find, but it's kind of a win-win situation. That's not a win-win. It's a lose-win situation because they lost Backcountry Outfitters, which was a really cool store.
Yeah, nice store
in downtown Beaverdale. Here's a picture. You see it now.
It's not a win-win-win situation.
No.
Okay.
Well, they lost Backcountry Outfitters, and that was too bad. But it was replaced by another cool business that I think will draw people in. At least people will talk about. And Luke Dickens, who's a really nice guy, owns this place. He's moved in there, and I guess they're all set to go, and they're selling records there. I think that's cool. The biggest adult. This would be better with a picture. I don't know if we can show a picture yet. Maybe we can.
AD, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing all right.
How's your food?
We're figuring it out.
How are your armpits?
Yeah,
not great. Not great.
You're sweating through the hat pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you make it to the sandwich?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, leave him alone. The biggest adult male great white shark to ever be recorded in the Atlantic Ocean was recently pinged off the coast of the Outer Banks in North Carolina. They call him Contender. He is nearly 14 feet long. Look at this, the picture. If you could see it, it would scare the shit
Nearly
out of you.
14 feet long?
Look at this thing.
Oh, my God.
Side of
That looks like
this
a whale.
boat. They call him Contender. Estimated to weigh over 1,600 pounds, according to this ocean research group. Makes him the largest recorded great white male shark in the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, with sharks, males are smaller than females. There's a word for that, and I don't know it.
Sexual dimorphism.
Ooh,
Thank
nice.
you. Not a word, but a term.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
is
you.
that real?
That's
Well,
cool.
Scott's
Thank you.
that is what it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's really
A
good.
little Scott School bonus. So the females are bigger than the males, and somewhere out there is this girl. Look at this picture.
Who is this crazy person swimming next to the shark?
This shark is known as Deep Blue. She is somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. They see her occasionally around the coast of Australia. She is estimated to be, now remember, the male was 14 feet, 1,600 pounds. Deep Blue estimated to be 22 feet long and 4,400 pounds. Oh, that's a big girl. She's a big girl. I made love to two men at once. They never saw each other. She sat on the George Washington Bridge, dangled her feet in the water.
I don't remember if this is the right name, but I think it was Deep Blue. One of the most shocking things I've ever seen in the movie theater. Samuel Jackson is up there. He's up there giving that speech, and he's a star. So you think, you know, he's there for the long haul. Yeah. And he's like, "Come on, we got to rally together. We got to defeat her." And the shark just pops up and eats him whole.
Here's some good news as the future is changing. Because sharks regrow so many teeth, they shed a lot of teeth, they have to regrow them. Scientists have figured out how they do it now. And within probably 5 years, we'll be able to regrow human teeth.
Really?
Yeah. So think of that. West Virginia, you still got a chance.
Hang in there, West Virginia. Help is on the way.
This is Scott's best show in a long time.
No one can hear
And
it.
we've needed it. And we've needed it.
I mean, he said several things that I actually found interesting.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good job.
Did you ever think about
Something about
freezing to
the-
death because you're flayed alive? Did you ever think about that before? That one's such a scary thought.
All right, well, let's
Okay,
not
sorry,
build
go
a
ahead.
bridge too far here.
Yeah, you were rolling for a while.
Well, we want to try this video or not? How you
Yeah,
feeling
let's
there? You want to
try
do
it.
it? Okay,
Screw
now,
it.
now here's Sebastian Maniscalco talking about his father's love of plain cash.
Father, cash. That's all he had, a wad of cash growing up. No wallet, just a wad, just a.
You can do an impression.
Man,
We pushed it.
Do the impression.
I don't know this cash kid.
His dad would just carry cash in a wad with a broccoli band around it and was just bulging out of the front of his pants. And then he thought that since he had cash, everything was open to negotiation. He'd be buying a refrigerator at Sears. They're going to be like, yeah, it's $1,200.
Is it?
Yeah, but we're going to pay cash. And the guy's like, okay, cash, still $1,200.
There are places, though, that cash offer will bring that price down.
And taxes won't be paid on that transaction.
Yeah.
Like handyman,
Yeah, pay cash under the table. Yeah.
pine at Cooney's.
I've never paid for anything at Cooney's. How do you even do that?
It's all cash.
I have.
Oh, yeah.
For both of us.
All right, we're going to try this one more time.
Oh,
Let's see.
Father, cash. That's all he had, a wad of cash growing up. No wallet, just a wad, just a big knot with a broccoli band around the wad. We'd negotiate. My father would negotiate prices at Sears. It was embarrassing to go shopping with the guy. The salesman didn't know what the hell was going on. The salesman, like, the refrigerator's gonna be about $1,200 here. My father would be like, no, it's not. We're gonna pay cash. And the salesman was like, yeah, we accept cash, sir, $1,200. But they were like, cash. What's the price gonna be with cash? It's not a flea market, we're at Sears.
That's great.
The trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 has hit.
Ooh.
It's a PlayStation or Xbox thing. Can't have it for the stream.
We've got kids in their 20s. I'm well aware of.
Okay, I'm
Call
going
of
to tell
Duty.
you right now, I can't have this.
No.
I cannot have this. My wife would rather me bring home a Russian hooker than this game.
Hang on. Let's think this through.
Let me explain.
But you,
from
you
Russia?
come through the door with Black Ops 7. Say, Kahala, look what I have. It's Black Ops 7, Call of Duty. Versus, hi, honey, I brought a Russian hooker.
This is Tatiana. Don't try to have a conversation with her. That's not why she's here. I'm telling you, but if I had Call of Duty, because I mean, okay, it's going to be. I haven't seen this game. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't need to. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be horribly violent and totally addictive, just like all of the other Call of Duty games. And I would play this every chance I had. It would be no different than picking up a cocaine habit at this point in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I'm real
less
worried
expensive,
about
but
Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposed to come out, I think, next year.
Doesn't that have hookers?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
but I mean, Black Call of Duty, though, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
you just lose hours. You start playing and you look
So
up and
good.
it's 3 hours later.
So if I'm boiling this down, that you think that your wife would choose a one-time bang it out with a Russian hooker over you playing a violent video game for months at a time.
Yes, because she would hear me in the other room with the video game. She'd hear me in the other room
with the video game.
You just because you're talking on the screen, you're just like, oh man, I got the sniper rifle. Can I score a headshot on this guy from 500 yards? And she'd be like, what are you teaching our children? She would be so upset.
Oh,
I'm not. That's probably the last time I'm going to even mention it.
Yeah, I think we should move on.
Finally, from the files of some headlines don't need stories, we bring you this. Florida man caught urinating on Spam and Vienna sausages at Sam's Club. Here he is.
Oh man.
I like how these like prison smocks they pull out have like show so much shoulder. They show so much skin. Why do they do that? Is it like is somebody with a melon head has to be able to fit into that too?
I don't get it. We don't. Why are we seeing the traps? We don't need to see
don't
this
like
man's
all
traps.
the way down. I don't need to see where his back hair begins.
No.
Right. So yeah. He's from Florida. His name is Patrick Mitchell. He ruined more than $10,500 in canned Spam and Vienna sausages by urinating on 2 full pallets.
Wait,
at Sam's Club.
They were closed. The Spam was sealed up, and they threw it away.
Yeah, just the
he
cans
peed on the outside.
Yeah, and those Vienna sausages, which those might be the most disgusting thing. Right? I mean, like, if you look at the ingredients there.
I was raised on Spam, so without gratin potatoes, but the Vienna sausages are too much for me.
Those are, canned meat is a tough sell.
Let me ask you this:
if
they hose the cans down, would you still accept them?
I mean, they had to just pick it up and move it to another Sam's Club.
I would
right? They didn't really
that's
throw
a
this
waste
away.
of food.
It's sealed.
Yeah,
Yes.
they use Spam in the army, right? I mean, they ship it all the way across the world.
And what do you think's run like the mice and the rats that run on top of all that stuff, like your soda cans and
Yeah,
stuff?
what do you
You always
think
want
they're
to wipe
doing?
that down. They're just peeing and pooping all over your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to. What difference is it? They didn't throw this out.
It's Spam. What's in there
but
anyway?
I want to get to the point here.
All right, too late.
So a shopper snapped a photo, and security video caught Mitchell standing with his pants down for several, 90 seconds.
Were they
standing
around his
there.
ankles?
Well, I mean, they knew exactly. They knew what was going on, right?
So his Vienna sausage out?
Yeah. And then after he was done, he wandered off to browse snacks and lounge on the patio furniture there. Staff confirmed the urine and tossed 188 bulk packs of sausages, 345 8-packs of Spam. Membership records matched the suspect, and police arrested him at his home in the Villages.
In the Villages.
Thank you. He has. Ooh, look at this. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
That was so nice.
Hey, cheers to you and all of Bondurant. Hey. Raise a glass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. To Farrar.
So he goes back to the Villages, and he has pled not guilty.
Oh, that's
all right.
good.
No, wait a minute. How do you plead not guilty when they've got you on camera? They've got your Sam's Club card on file confirming that you were in the store at the time of the crime.
You blame it all on AI and Photoshop.
Right there.
Does this guy look sophisticated enough to mount that argument?
Absolutely not.
How do you plea? And doesn't the judge say, but before you answer the question, let me just remind you that we have you on video with your pants down, your tip pointed at the Spam.
Yep.
You used your card to get in. We know you're in there. We got you on video.
Not guilty.
Now, how do you play? Not guilty. I want to tell you that if you plead not guilty and you're found guilty, it's worse.
That's the key.
I heard his attorney Shaggy, and he just says it wasn't me.
Florida man.
Anyway?
Very nice.
A few people. Okay, we got a boo on that.
Yeah. Wait to end on a high note there.
AD, are you old enough to remember when Scott was rolling for a while? Just feeling good. People are like,
good.
I don't get I think Scott's doing well.
All right, that's your more, everybody.
All right, so AD.
Yeah.
We feel like the Starlink is fully working now.
I let's find out, right?
Don't make him say it.
Let's dive into this together.
Let's go to what's bugging you.
Yeah.
Which I think turns out that Scott Siepker has some calls.
It is about Scott Siepker. So speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is how you leave us a rant, as these people have this week.
Hey guys, Mitch McDermott, Polk City. I've been a loyal listener of the Murphy and Andy show for years, but when I first started listening, I was always worried on Fridays what kind of idiotic things would come out of Siepker's mouth. I was actually convinced the first couple months that AD hated Scott with his dismissive tone and cutting him off, transitioning to new segments whenever Scott wouldn't know when to shut his mouth. Frankly, he used to annoy me. However, over the years, I've realized something terrifying. I am just like Scott Siepker. In group settings, I tend to be obnoxiously loud at times, share facts that I think are interesting when no one else really does. I give unsolicited advice on things I may or may not be knowledgeable about. And like his show on Iowa Everywhere, I overthink most things and need others around me to keep the train on the tracks. Well done, Kenzo and Cade. So next time you think a neighbor or a coworker really rubs you the wrong way, maybe consider that they are just like you and you hate yourself, kind of. And that's Scott I'm pretty much Scott Siepker, and that's what's bugging me.
Hey guys, this is Tanya from Carroll. I just really have an issue with Scott Siepker always talking about, oh, Carroll High this and Carroll High that. Well, I think Kemper won the Carroll Rivalry Cup last summer. So Scott just needs to pipe down! Thank you.
Great ending.
That was great.
Total Iowa ending.
Yeah. Speakpipe.com.
Speakpipe.com. Murph_Andy. It's on our socials.
Jeez.
We'd love to hear from you.
Now I'm really sweating.
That was great. All right, AD, if you're feeling comfortable, let's roll back through the things we couldn't play.
All
right. How about? Yeah, no, we're gonna.
All right,
do it.
all right. Yeah.
How about Tyrese Haliburton?
The commentary is always going to be what it is. You know, most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms, I couldn't care less, honestly. Like, what do they really know about basketball? But I think as a group, you know, and watching film myself, seeing where I can get better is important. And you know, I mean, at a time like this, I'm not really on social media as much. I try to stay off it as much as I can, but you know, you see it, and you know, ESPN might be on in my house, and there it is, and you know, it is what it is. But I think just seeing where I can be better is the most important thing.
All right, that might be a third voice from Tyrese too. Like I barely recognized.
Ever since we
him there.
played that, I've been listening for his voice change.
But that's really good. Now I tried to explain to you how Stephen A. Smith reacted to that. I don't think I did it.
No.
I don't think I did it justice. So let's hear the creepy response.
And oh, by the way, just in case he was talking about me, my brother, I'm not going away.
No, you're not.
I'm going to be here for a while. You read the news? I'm going to be here for a while. So next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, I'm going to be here. And players far more accomplished and far more superior have made their efforts trying to call me out. How has that worked out?
God,
I don't know.
That is one of the most unlikable.
That's one of the most unlikable
rants
things
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That was awful.
And he also didn't address any of Haliburton's criticisms. Like, maybe you don't know that much about basketball.
Did he point him out specifically though?
No.
Not at all. You heard what he said.
Of course, he makes it about him.
Oh my God, that was brutal.
I mean,
Stephen A. Smith thinks he's Michael Jordan, so he makes up all these chips on his shoulder, but he's not Michael Jordan.
But most of
He's
the talking
Stephen A.
heads are
Smith.
talking about basketball players, former basketball players.
Yes.
Those are the talking heads. They know basketball.
And Tyrese himself said after the first two games, I got to play better. I got to be more assertive. And then he did. All right, AD, how about the most iconic songs from each year of the 1970s, beginning with 1970?
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Long come the water, a fire in the sky. Sing when I was just gone today, never tomorrow, the good Lord will take you away. Sweet home Alabama. Just killed a man. You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only said. Welcome to the Hotel California.
All right.
Still hear all of those songs, that's for sure.
That's awesome. We don't need to replace Scott School. Don't worry about it. That's,
No, we're good on that. Yeah.
It is now time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. Before we get to that, AD, by the way, I know you've been stressed out a little bit today.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And The photos in that What's Bugging You, those were great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
It's
why
fun to put together. I like it.
That was really good. Okay, Andrew Downs, the audio drop of the day, the AD squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny, which I think we're in a suburb of Ankeny right now, maybe technically.
We're in Metro.
Don't you
Ankeny.
say that.
We're in the Ankeny Metro
area.
Bondurant is its own place with its own identity.
Does anybody raise your hand if you're from here and you think of this as a suburb of Ankeny?
Boo that idea, will you please? Thank you. See?
No, nobody. No takers.
Anyway, I may need to get another testosterone shot. I think I've sweated out today.
All your tea?
But I can go do that at Game Day Men's Health, and so can you.
Right.
It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary. None of these bleeps are necessary. It's all innocent conversation. But I have placed bleeps to make you hear things that aren't actually being said. A little extra warning. This one starts off with a bang. It is This Week in Iowa, unnecessary censorship.
There were scantily clad women sitting right on that big old
She says, "Oh, my uncle went to Arizona State." And I say, "I'll bet you he liked to f-." And she says, "He couldn't. He was a quadriplegic."
We've gotten up in the RV before, and you get up, you're tired, and somebody's a hog right next to the
It's
RV.
a lot for your senses
And you're like,
when you're just waking up.
What did he do after that? He went to the bathroom and had a good
Yeah, and the young man in front of me who was oysters, we watched him for a while.
He's like, life is a series of dicks. He used to say, and you can
Mark
have
your life by the
Yeah, you can have a whole bunch of different dicks in your life, and some of them are great, and some of them are just good.
Well done, Andy.
Oh, congratulations.
Well done, AD.
Yeah, very nice.
All right,
Good job.
Let's go back over a couple of those. I'll bet he likes to party.
Yeah.
That was the Arizona State
Yeah,
comment.
he likes to party.
What happened to the quadriplegic?
Yeah, he
couldn't
can't
party
because
Couldn't party. I just stepped in it. I felt terrible.
which we've debunked.
didn't.
Quadriplegics can party.
Yeah. But it was just
Christopher Reeve at the end was partying hard.
I'm sitting around. She says, "Where do you go to college?" Colin says, "Arizona State." And she goes, "Oh, my uncle went to Arizona State." And I said, "Oh, I'll bet he'd like to party." He said, "No, he couldn't. He's a quadriplegic."
There's no way this hasn't gotten back to her.
But I just felt terrible.
I can tell you've only told the story 10 times.
It's not your fault he can't walk or move
There's
his
no
arms.
way that she has not heard about it. You know what, man? I heard that story the other day on Murph and Andy, man. They're talking about you on there.
But it's in a way to say, I'm sorry. I just never thought of that. I mean,
I feel so bad for you. I'm going to use you as a punchline.
I didn't
but I
say-
feel bad.
All right.
It's been a good. Come on, man. It's a
All
good
right.
punchline.
All right. Thank you.
It is.
Give me a punch.
And it said the girls were sunning themselves on the deck.
On the deck.
Sunning on the
they
deck.
were sunning
But
on
you
the
used
deck.
it scantily clad.
George Carlin talked about life being a series of dogs.
That series of dogs, right? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, you got to. Would you lose a dog? You can go in there and get yourself a new damn dog. You can say, give me another one just like that. That was good.
We have had a great day here at Founders.
I'm so glad my mom went to Piggly Wiggly. during the
Piggly
show.
Wiggly, like driving Miss Daisy?
Yeah, that's the grocery store up
Where is she?
literally. Up
She's in
Wisconsin.
Georgia?
No, she's in Wisconsin.
There's Piggly Wiggly in
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Everything's 40 years ago in Wisconsin, Murph.
Oh, I know you think so.
They call it the pig.
All right, let's
They
get some
just
quickie
got
poll
automatic
results.
transmission. All right, which duo is most one-sided? Ooh, we got a tie between Batman and Robin and Bondurant and Farrar. Both at 32%. Barbie and Ken at 27%. Just 10% agree with me and go with Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates getting a lot of respect here.
Yeah.
I told you.
Oates is
They
getting a little
should- they
too
should.
much respect. And then as a kid with no supervision, what's the best playground equipment? Another tie. The jungle gym and the merry-go-round at 30%. The swing at 27% and the metal slide at 12%.
That merry-go-round, when you get the big kids pushing that thing, like three of them.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And you start on the outside and then you step in and that centrifugal force just really whips you and then like a small kid flies out and then later he goes to Arizona State as a quadriplegic.
You can have you can have some fun with a YouTube search for merry-go-round fails. like when they put like the cord around it and then take off with
yeah.
like a four-wheeler and spin that thing.
I thought you were saying your nickname as a kid was Merry-Go-Round Phil.
No, I think we all know that was Pooh Shoes. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, are your shorts purple?
They're not. They are blue.
No, that's purple.
But under this red,
it's periwinkle.
The sunlight's coming through and casting more red onto it.
No, because Andy's shirt is blue and you don't match at all.
That's purple, Scott.
Wait,
that's purple.
It's still purple.
No, that's blue.
That's
Purple.
lavender.
Purple or blue?
It's periwinkle.
Yeah, periwinkle.
Yeah, if we broke out the big 64 box of crayons, which one would match those?
Periwinkle. Also known as purple. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you to all
giveaway.
What?
We have our Palms
F1.
giveaway.
Yeah, we got the F1 Palms with the IMAX.
Here.
February, or sorry,
here we go.
Again,
you look at
June
this.
25th, Wednesday, 7 p.m., Palms Theater. Who's going? 2 tickets go to
D-Coop.
D-Coop. D-Coop. What does D-Coop need to do to get these 2 tickets to the IMAX?
Email me, Murph_Andy at Iowa Everywhere.
And please provide a photo ID with the name
Prove
D-Coop.
that you're D-Coop. You're going to need a real name to use there, too.
Yeah. I'm D-Coop. Who's D-Coop? I'm D-Coop. Hey, did you see Scott Edwards, Plaza RV was here?
I did. I saw him for a minute there. I figured we'd see him. He's right down the road.
Yeah, great to see him.
Yeah.
He drives that RV on RV TV.
Yeah, he does, that poor guy.
He
hanging out with us all week.
He likes
he does.
it.
We every year we're like, you want to stop doing it this year?
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, we get it.
And he said, no,
It's only
I'll
a
do it
few
again.
months away, RVTV.
Gives him material for the rest of the
90
year.
days.
90 days.
And 90, maybe, no, it's to the start of the season. Could be a little longer than that. All right. Thank you for supporting local media here. Be sure to check out the merch store on our table or at iowaeverywhere.com. Where are we next week, Andy?
Westtown Pub.
Yeah, Pub. We are at the Westtown Pub, Westtown Tap.
Is it Tap or Pub?
Westtown Tap.
It's a Westtown Tap, Westtown Pub. That is Mill Civic Parkway. Or no, I'm sorry, Westtown Parkway and Valley West Drive in West Des Moines. Kind of over there by the Red Lobster, by the Olive Garden.
You can walk there.
And only 2 more left. 2 more patio stops left. So if you haven't come out, get on out here.
Yeah,
Come on out.
We're running
Andy,
out of
let's
these.
eat some cold food. If you get a chance, please like, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you found us. Thanks for your patience today. We are back Monday.
And we'll see you Monday.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.